Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 6th of May going through until Sunday the 12th of May 2024. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. And do you like my new office? I'm really pleased with it. Also, please excuse my voice. I have a cold at the moment, and when I woke up this morning I had no voice. So I'm just happy to be able to do this horoscope and that I get to speak to you guys, so please bear with me. So what I'll do in this horoscope is I'll go through each day of the week to see what the planets are doing and how they interact with each other, how that then influences us. And once I've done that, I'll go through each sign of the zodiac from Aries through to Pisces to give you a specific message for your sign of the zodiac. So when I was writing the horoscope, what I noticed is that this week is a real opportunity to leave the past behind and to enter a new era in your life. And it really reminded me of the artist Picasso, whose work is always classified into different periods of his life. So he had his blue period, and then it was Cubism, and then it was his post-war work. So I think you'll experience something similar here this week. My life before May 2024 and my life after May 2024. So it's a process of growing up and kind of coming into your own, regardless of what your age is. So starting with Monday, the 6th of May, we have the moon in Aries. The moon is the way you feel, and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's associated with sunrise, and I have the whole day ahead of me. And it's a fire sign that says, I'm going to focus on my passions, I'm going to make progress with those, and I'm going to remove obstacles that slow me down. So you're really going to feel very energized at the beginning of this week here. But not only that, the Aries moon then conjuncts Mercury, the communication planet, which is direct at the moment. So don't expect any issues when it comes to communication or transportation. And there's also going to be a sense that I have a particular message or I have a particular viewpoint that I really want to make progress with. So allow yourself to do that. And the moon also conjuncts Chiron, the wounded healer, which is also in Aries. So anything that really is a passion of yours here on Monday, there's not just going to be a sense of, I want to move forward with this because it's something I enjoy, but there's also this greater promise that if I implement the things that motivate me, it's going to heal the past, or it's going to heal disappointments that I've experienced before this day. So it's very kind of big in scope, as in anything that has made you feel like you've been let down. You have an opportunity to build things yourself here, which really give you this sense of confidence and that tip the scales, as in I'm creating all these wonderful things in the here and now, so I don't really need to focus on the past anymore, specifically the things that didn't work for me. So it's kind of like a do-over here on Monday. The moon then enters Taurus at 10:42 in the evening. Taurus is a fixed earth sign, and that gives you the ability to really take charge of your circumstances and to control them. It gives you a feeling that I am the one who causes a situation. I am not someone who's always just reacting to the effects of other people. So it gives you a real sense of confidence and a real sense that I am able. If I want something to change, then I can do that. The Taurus moon then squares Pluto in Aquarius, and that's wonderful because Pluto in Aquarius is the rebirth of ideas. So a lot of things are going to occur to you here on Monday, but I love the connection between Pluto in the air sign Aquarius and the Taurus moon, because you'll immediately know how to implement your ideas. You know, it's one thing to be inspired and to consider all of these things, but if you don't actually put them into some sort of practical format, or if you don't apply them, then you could argue, well, great ideas, but really what was all that about? And you're not going to have this here on Monday. Something occurs to you and you'll immediately know that if I apply the idea to this aspect of my life, it will immediately improve. So there's a real sense of I can, if only I apply myself. So it's very self-affirming. The sun is also in Taurus, so happy birthday to all the Tauruses out there. And it sextiles Saturn in Pisces. Saturn is structure and security. I always kind of simplify it by saying it's like a foundation that you can build a house on. And with it being in Pisces, there's this wonderful sense of I'm being supported by the divine. I am loved. I'm not kind of being pushed in the wrong direction. So that adds to the certainty, and it really allows you to make changes without doubting yourself. Mercury in Aries also then conjuncts Chiron in Aries. So it's not just about I'm doing what I want, I'm doing what motivates me, but there's this added promise that if I do implement my ideas, I'm going to heal myself and I'm going to heal things that have disappointed me in the past. So Monday, I expect that you will really go into the day with a great deal of motivation and you have the ability to get a lot done. With all the fire, watch out for irritation if things don't go your way immediately, and just make sure you give yourself some time. It's not always going to be 100% straightforward, and just look at little delays or little irritants as a normal part of the process, and just allow yourself to work through those patiently. Any ideas that you get for new endeavors, for new projects, take those very seriously, because we have a new moon in Taurus the next day, and on Monday you'll already be able to tap into that energy. It's really about planting seeds and watching them grow. So think of this as very fertile soil, and what kind of seeds are you going to put into that soil so that in the next few days or the next few weeks, you really then have created this beautiful garden which you can enjoy and which improves your everyday experience. Also, if something occurs to you that never has occurred to you in the past, really take it seriously. And I think I've already mentioned this, but you're not going to be led in the wrong direction. There's really almost no potential for that. So pay attention to what occurs to you and then make it happen for yourself. On Tuesday, the 7th of May, we do have the new moon in Taurus. So a new moon is when the sun and the moon, they conjunct, and the moon pulls a lot of energy in to start its next 28-day cycle. So we've got a lot of earthy Taurus energy coming in. I'll make a separate video on the new moon in Taurus to give you even more detail. But ultimately, it heightens that ability that I can do anything. I have control over my circumstances. I'm not a victim. And again, I don't have to just react to what other people are doing. I can create the cause, and my environment and other people, they can react to what I've put out there. The Taurus moon then conjuncts Venus in Taurus, which is wonderful because Venus is the planet of love and beauty and creativity. And it's very happily placed in Taurus because it actually rules that sign. So again, Venus in Taurus is I'm able to express my ideas in some sort of creative format, whether it's writing or being a designer or floristry, or kind of updating your own look, like a different hairstyle, or saying, do you know what, I want to change my wardrobe, I want to change something about myself that makes me feel like it's a reflection of where I'm at in my life right now. And the Taurus moon then also conjuncts the sun in Taurus, and it sextiles Saturn in Pisces. So it's really very hands-on, and that's what it's going to give you a sense that I can be quite proud of myself here if I do make changes. That's what I identify with. Taking control of my life is something I can really applaud for myself. And it's almost like it's an opportunity to build your own esteem and your relationship with yourself. So on Tuesday, continue to examine your own ideas for the future, and please do take action to make those a real thing. Astrologically, it's the same as Monday, and even more so than Monday. You have all of this fertile ground that you have access to. So if there's an idea or an endeavor that has occurred to you months or years ago, or even it's an idea that pops in on this day, give it a life, make it happen, and put your energy into that. What can I do solo in order to make it grow? This reminds me of the Empress in the Tarot, the third card in the Major Arcana. She's often depicted as a woman who is pregnant and who's wearing a dress that has pomegranates on it. So it's a sense that I'm so rich in what's going on internally that I want that energy to spill over into my environment, so that there are beautiful flowers and there are wonderful circumstances around me, and it becomes a back and forth. I feel good, and I give that to the environment, and the environment is now beautiful, and it makes me feel even better. Wednesday, the 8th of May, we have the Taurus moon conjuncting Uranus, the planet of anything is possible, and Jupiter, the planet of good fortune, good luck, success, and both of those are in Taurus. So we've got three things in Taurus here. The moon is, I know exactly what actions I need to take in order to create this wonderful structure. Uranus allows you to see beyond your own limitations or the limitations of your environment, and it really makes you a dreamer who at the same time is very, very practical. I think that is the best combination. It's one thing to dream and to just sit there and to, daydream and to examine all of these wonderful things that could happen. But I would argue, I'm an earth sign, so I would say this, it's even better when you take those dreams and you manifest them in a real world sense, because then you can enjoy them, but other people as well can access the things that you've created and built. And I think if everyone did this, we would have an even more wonderful environment. Jupiter in Taurus, you activate the good fortune of this planet by taking action, by taking control of things. So really, please don't be timid or uncertain about should I or shouldn't I. Everything this week says, if you feel it, if it motivates you, if this is a desire that you have, make it happen. It's very unlikely that this is going to cause any problems for you in future. And then even more so, the Taurus moon sextiles Neptune in Pisces. Venus is the personal planet of love and beauty. Neptune is the higher octave of that. And it's this connection of people as society. It's the love you have for humanity, and I'm not really expressing this very well, but it's love on a larger scale. So I can be in love with an individual or my own artwork, and that would be ruled and governed by Venus. But what do I feel for society, and how can I make a contribution to the public? That I would say is really governed by Neptune. So the scope again is very big, and the things that you build for yourself are not just likely to improve your life and your circumstances, but they'll make things better for everybody. You may think that's somewhat idealistic, and it's like the idea of utopia, but we're really operating on this elevated level this week where the dream can come true, and there's a sense of love and romance is in the air, and the assumption that I want good things for other people and vice versa. Now, even though that may not always be true, if you're in that mindset, what I'm trying to express is that you're going to be much more likely to take positive action if that's the place you're coming from, rather than, no one is interested in what I do, for instance. So on Wednesday, with the combination of Taurus and Neptune and the lucky planet and anything is possible, I really think the theme of romance and love comes in here on Wednesday. So if you're single and you're looking, it's a wonderful opportunity to meet someone new. The way you'll recognize that is there's going to be instant chemistry, instant attraction, and there may even be a sense of familiarity. Have I met this person before? It seems like they're so, it's like almost a sense of I have something in common with this person, or I feel like I've had a conversation with them already. So if you get that feeling, really please do go for it. Again, it's unlikely that this is a situation that isn't going to work out. Everything here is saying you can plant these seeds and create circumstances which are going to serve you moving forward in future. On Wednesday, if you're in a relationship already, it's time for harmony, intimacy, and again, almost zero chance for conflict. You're supported creatively via Neptune in Pisces and the moon in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. And if you write or design or you do pottery or embroidery, you'll find it easy to express your ideas in any of those physical, tangible formats. On Thursday, the 9th of May, the moon enters Gemini at 20 minutes past midnight, and that's based on my time zone. I'm back in the UK, so please take the time difference into account, but the moon moves quite quickly, so please don't get too hung up on the timings. But the moon in Gemini is very different because it's now in an air sign. That's about problem solving, that's about expressing yourself. If you look at the glyph of Gemini, it's like a doorway. So it opens things up for you to move through that doorway into a new kind of period in your own life. And that's what I mentioned at the beginning. There's so many things that combine to allow you to cross the threshold and again to enter this happier, easier period in your life. So the Gemini moon then squares Saturn in Pisces. Still, I'm supported by the higher realms, but this even brings in the theme of channeling. So if you notice that certain things occur to you, or you're writing something down and suddenly you've written a sentence that you weren't even planning to write and it just kind of wrote itself, pay attention to those kind of things, because there is almost like a warm embrace from the higher realms that's giving you information and is supporting you and prompting you to move forward confidently. The Gemini moon then also sextiles Mars in Aries. So I'm motivated, yes I can, and it trines Pluto in Aquarius. These ideas are so brilliant that I just can't wait to action those. So there's a real sense of excitement here on Thursday. And with the shift of the moon from Taurus into Gemini, the entire energy shifts and becomes much more academic and intellectual. So if you have any kind of examination or a test that you need to do this week, try and do it on Thursday. If you can schedule it that way, but you'll really ace it, because anything that you need to make sense of intellectually, or anything where you really, have to use your gray cells in order to make it work, you'll be able to do that really well. So basically, it's the astrological version of having taken your ginkgo biloba, or whatever it's called, biloba, ginkgo biloba. Funny that I don't even know the proper way of saying that. Okay. So on Thursday, if you want to study a new subject, it's a great time to sign up for a new course or to deepen your knowledge in any area that you find interesting. Research and invention are also supported. If you're not quite clear on something you've been told by another person, or you're not quite sure of where am I at in this relationship with someone else, it's a good time to ask questions to gain real clarity and to get back on the same page with another person, or literally to turn the page in something you're studying and to make progress. On Friday, the 10th of May, we still have the moon in Gemini, so all those ideas are really supported. And if there are any problems you need to solve, look at those as well on Friday. And it squares Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And that's really interesting to me, because it says, my spiritual truth is something that I'm so certain about. And if I express it, then I am giving something really wonderful to other people. That's a weird thing to say, because most of us, if we do something we're good at, we don't usually sit there and say, some people may, but most of us don't say, wow, I'm really brilliant. Aren't other people so lucky to hear what I've got to say? But on Friday, there is that sense of overconfidence. So if you can capture that in some sort of tangible format, please do, because you'll be incredibly prolific and you're not going to doubt yourself in any way. And what also goes with that is you're unlikely to censor yourself. If all of your ideas are brilliant and wonderful and are designed to make a good contribution, then you're not going to censor yourself. The Gemini moon also then sextiles Chiron and Mercury in Aries. So again, it's this greater notion that if I express my ideas, it's not just good for other people, but will help me heal in the here and now. And again, it will tip the scales from negative things that have happened in the past. And now I'm squarely focused on all of these good things that I have coming up in future. So it's really the genuine belief that the best is yet to come. So on Friday, any ongoing issue that's kind of kept you stuck or made you feel like I don't have any choice here, I don't have any options, it's likely to be resolved on Friday. Expect to see a painful memory in a new context and to understand what that was all about. It would have taught you something, it would have given you an extra personality trait in the sense of I understand through that experience, for instance, that I am resilient, that I can rely on myself, that I am my own best friend. So you're able to heal from those experiences on Friday that have wounded you in the past by balancing those experiences with all those positives that you're building this week and moving forward. It's what I just said a moment ago. The best is yet to come, and I really don't need to be so worried about what happened in the past because it's no longer relevant. I've got all these amazing things ahead of me. This week, to me, again, I love this time of year because it's so much about, I do have power. I do have the ability to change my perspective and to change my life and to change the world. It's so, it squarely puts the ball in your court, as in, you're not a sitting duck. On Saturday, the 11th of May, we have the moon entering Cancer at 4:13 in the morning. So Cancer is a water sign. It's a cardinal sign that says, I am in charge here. I'm the leader. And Cancer is associated with the 4th house in the traditional astrology chart. And it's really, home is where the heart is. I'm able to provide spiritual guidance and counsel to those I love. I'm able to love them. I'm able to provide for them. So with the moon going into Cancer, and the moon rules Cancer, that's very comfortable, obviously, in that sign. But again, it's I am my own best friend, which is a theme that's really relevant this week. And I'm able to take care of myself. And not only that, I'm able to bring out the best in myself. The Cancer moon then squares Mars in Aries, my ambition, my drive. And it's good to go where I want to go because that's a way of healing myself. And it quincunxes Pluto in Aquarius. So the ongoing theme is that you have all of these brilliant insights and ideas that occur to you, and then not the practicality that was there earlier in the week, but now it's shifted to, it's not just implementing my ideas, but these ideas, it's about the recognition that these are really going to heal me and help me if I do something with them. So the square between the Cancer moon, water, and Mars in Aries, the red planet of ambition, drive, you can think of Mars kind of as a soldier. Watch out for disagreements that could happen on Saturday. It's really the only day of the week. Monday a little bit, there was a possibility for kind of frustration. But here on Saturday, if things don't go immediately the way you want them, you could really get into a zone where it's like, you know what, I'm getting so annoyed that I'm just going to argue to get the poison out. I would recommend instead focus on what you still have control over and avoid any kind of argument. It's just going to stoke the flames of frustration or even anger, and it's not actually going to lead to some sort of positive conclusion. But also, there may be not just arguments, but on Saturday, there may be a tendency to have this feeling like, am I speaking English right now? Because nothing is landing with you. So if you have that kind of experience, don't try even harder to explain. I think that's the key thing that will irritate you because you won't have the patience for that. And instead, look at how you can deepen your understanding around a subject that you like and that you feel is going to heal you. And continue to look at your ideas, flesh those out, expand them, and try and implement them. It really isn't a good time to expect understanding and support from other people, or to, again, go through this whole process of I'm explaining myself to you. Finally, on Sunday, the 12th of May, and happy Mother's Day to everybody, we have the Cancer moon forming a square with Chiron and Mercury in Aries. So this is much calmer. The Cancer moon then forming this connection with Chiron and Mercury. Again, it's back to if I action my ideas, then I feel like I'm doing something nice for myself and I'm healing myself. And then it trines Saturn in Pisces. It sextiles Venus, the Sun, Uranus, and Jupiter in Taurus. So less conflict, the return of harmony, and harmony between people in your life, but also the sense that if I pursue the things that make me feel good, then at the same time, I'm helping other people out with that. So the previous day's communication issues disappear, and they are replaced by this sense of harmony and sweet understanding. It's compassion, it's empathy, it's being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes. So Saturday and Sunday are very different. So if you feel a little uneasy about that, or have a sense of whiplash, pay attention on Saturday and Sunday. It really does change almost from night to day. So on Sunday, pursuing simple pleasures, that's going to be enriching and enjoyable to you and those around you. Self-care, gardening, cooking, all those kind of everyday pastimes are things you'll enjoy. And even kind of deciding on a new style, what I said earlier, like changing your hair or the way you dress or the way you present yourself or your posture or taking on a new kind of type of exercise. That's really what I meant with the whole you're entering a new era of your life. Something about you has clicked. You see that that is going to change the way you're going to appear in future. And it's really an upgrade is what I'm saying. So Sunday is this strongest day where you feel like I have been renewed and I am moving into this new era of my life. Okay, so let's look at each sign. Aries, you're going to find yourself incredibly motivated to action your plans in order to heal some sort of disappointment from the past. That's going to be very much at the forefront of your mind this week. And as was the case for you guys last week, any work-related projects that you can initiate and that are likely to pay, they are likely to pay great dividends financially and in terms of business creation. So please don't doubt yourself. If you have any ideas in those areas, just go for it. Don't overthink it. Trust that things aren't going to go awry. Things are very, very likely to go in your favor here. And on a simpler level, Aries, organizing your home and your environment is also going to feel very, very easy. And you do have this hands-on approach here this week. Taurus, I would say you're one of the luckiest signs of the week. You're really in your element here, quite literally. Listen for divine guidance and take action around that guidance for unbelievable, amazing results. So you're very likely to have a wonderful week here. You'll sense that everything, and I'm about to use a major hyperbole, but I really want to get this point across. You'll have a sense that everything you touch turns to gold. You have the Midas touch, And this outlook is going to serve you incredibly well. So if you feel like you're overly confident, then don't bring yourself down a few notches. Embrace that overconfidence and approach the things that are most difficult in your life, and you'll even have an amazing outcome in those areas. Gemini, something that you have thought about, dreamt about for months and years is going to come to fruition this week. So expect really good news and the completion of one of your deepest, most fundamental desires that you have for your entire life. You've got something really, really important and really good coming your way this week, Gemini. Cancer, for you, the big theme is going to be, I'm in love. I'm in love with another person, or I'm in love with a certain activity or a hobby, or I'm in love with my environment or a particular place in the world. So whether you meet someone new this week and fall in love, or whether you're already in a relationship, Cancer, expect these intense feelings of love and harmony. And with that said, I mentioned Monday and Saturday, there's the potential for conflict. Out of all of the signs, you're least likely to experience that conflict, and you're least likely to get irritated and frustrated. You'll be the most patient with yourself, and you'll find that easy to kind of take a breath and say, okay, it wasn't ideal, doesn't matter, let's try again. You're very kind of in tune with your own process. And also, Cancer, you're going to be very certain of your feelings, and it's an amazing time to get engaged or to move in together or even to get married. So if you have this moment where you're sitting across the table from each other and suddenly it's like, oh, I'm going to marry this person, then really trust that. Leo, you're going to experience major success in your working life this week, to the extent, if there have been years in the past where you felt, wow, I really wasted my time with that job and it was a complete disappointment. The successes you're likely to experience this week will not only make you feel like you finally caught up, but that you've had the breakthrough that you've wanted for so long and that you've made it. So expect some real accomplishment in your working life this week. And that can be literal or metaphorical, as in, okay, I'm doing this job. I don't really know what I would like to be doing. Boom, you get the idea that, okay, now I know what my purpose is, let's do it. Or you're already working in the job that you love, that's part of your life purpose, and you have that moment of accomplishment that you've been looking for. So for instance, the book is published and you can finally hold it. Virgo, it's a great time for you this week to have a discussion with your employer if you want to make changes to your work schedule. Whether you want to go from part-time to full-time or full-time or part-time, or if you want to work from home, anything you want to adapt about your day-to-day routine, the planets really support you in getting these plans approved by an outside body, whether that's your boss, whether that's the company. So if there's anything where you need to make a suggestion and then you have to wait to hear back from the organization, the institution, to approve that, really make that happen this week. Take that risk to get the yes or a no. And also, Virgo, it's a wonderful week for you to travel. You can experience a genuine sense of wonder and renewal by being out in nature and by visiting places that you've never seen before. It will really inspire you. Libra, one of your friends or family members will be instrumental in helping you to get what you want. If you're looking to rent or buy a house, make a move, or get your foot in the door of some sort of company or corporation, someone you know is going to be your best bet, and they'll be able to open this door for you. So make sure you speak to those you trust and then accept the help. It's the difference between going on an online job forum or site and saying what's on there and how can I apply. It's, for instance, having a friend who works at a particular company that you want to work for and say, hey, could you give me an interview? Or could you kind of put in a good word for me? So really use that resource to get to where you want to be. Scorpio, you're the sign of the zodiac that will gain most certainty this week when it comes to one of your relationships. So I said this for, I think it was Cancer. Yes, another water sign. So you have something in common with Cancer this week, in the sense that I now know exactly that this is the person I want to be with, or that this relationship has a future or doesn't have a future. If there's been any kind of uncertainty around that kind of thing, it's really going to click for you. So Scorpio, you're going to be so clear in your feelings that you'll feel compelled to make that official or to lock it down, which seems a little extreme. But if you haven't had any notions which way is this going to go, it will click. I do want to get engaged, or I do want to move in with this person. And you can really trust that certainty this week. It's appropriate. It's a genuine reflection of where you're at in your emotions, and it's accurate. So you can really implement those structures. You're not going to regret it afterwards. Sagittarius, you may find that some circumstances that you experience this week, they're going to prevent you from making as much progress as you would like to make. And you, being a fire sign, you may find that you become a little bit frustrated with other people. One, if they're putting obstacles in your path that you find unnecessary, or if they're making demands of you, if they're asking for things, and you feel that it's distracting you from what you're trying to do, or it's putting a bit of a burden on you, you're likely to get a little irritated, and you could express that quite forcefully to the other person actually doing the demanding. So Sagittarius, really keep your cool this week and make sure you give yourself that time to pursue the things that you enjoy, and kind of consciously try and balance, these are my needs that I want to pursue this week, and these are the demands that other people are making of me, and try and focus more on what it is you want to be doing, but do allow for you to meet the needs of other people if it's a genuine requirement. If you think it's an unreasonable thing to ask, then I think you'll feel much better by simply saying no than letting yourself be pushed into something that you don't really want to do. That's the kind of situation where you could get most frustrated. Capricorn. Similarly to Cancer and Scorpio this week, you're going to create a new family member this week. And what I mean by that, a boyfriend or girlfriend, suddenly you know so without a shadow of a doubt, you feel it so deeply that this person is going to become a part of my family. I am going to marry this person, or I am going to put a ring on their finger. So you're ready to take it to the next level this week, and you can really trust your feelings again. It's even likely that for certain Capricorns, a new life begins, whether that's I am certain that I am going to create this business and register it, or I am certain that I do want to conceive a child. So if you get a notion of I want to give life, either literally or metaphorically, to something I care about, allow yourself to do that. You're not going to regret it. So whichever way that manifests itself for you, I feel that you're going to have a new family member coming into your life this week. You create that new family member. Aquarius. Really watch out for conflict and arguments with family members around the weekend. You'll have gained a lot of momentum this week, and you will have made a lot of progress, experienced growth in your work, and you may feel that the people around you, the people you care about, they're moving much more slowly than you are. You feel like you've made all this progress. Why are these people not making progress? It could be a sense that they're holding me back, they're dragging me down. Avoid arguments and focus on your momentum and maintaining your pace, and avoid situations where you have to explain what it is you're doing, or you have to bring someone else up to speed. It's likely to kind of do your head in to the extent that this person isn't as quick as me. I want to cut that off. So you could be a little extreme in that sense this week. Give yourself patience. If you do feel like you have to lend someone else a helping hand, then balance that by giving yourself more time to continue making a progress in an area that you're interested in. And Pisces, if you've applied for a grant or funding and you're waiting for a response, either from the local council or the government or some company that's going to invest in your idea, it's likely that you're going to get really good news this week. So pursue any organization or individual that can help you realize your hopes and dreams. The planets are really supporting you in receiving outside help, especially in the areas of funding, of finance, of having the resources to build your dream. So if there's something that you really want to create, make sure that you cast the net quite widely and say, these are the potential people that can help me, and I'm going to connect to all of them, and I'm going to ask them for help. You're really likely to get a yes in response. So that's what I get for you this week, guys. I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. When you get to the website, scroll down a bit until you get to the button that says book your reading. Click on that to order your reading with me, or click on the shop tab to look at all the different types of reading I have, or in fact, they both lead you to the same page. The button and the shop tab are the same thing. In my personal readings, I use astrology, the tarot, and numerology. If you would like me to only use astrology in your personal reading, I can absolutely do that. If you only want me to use numerology or only the tarot, let me know and I can do that too. But when I use all three, I draw up your birth chart by taking your place of birth, time of birth, and date of birth. That's all I need to draw up your chart. And once I have that, I really do have a blueprint of who you are, your archetype, your personality type, and I can analyze that to really clarify what your strengths are, where you may need to do a little work. I also look at the progress chart and the transits to see how you've changed over time. So the progress chart is like the natal chart. I speed it up by 1 degree for every year you've been alive. And the transits are showing me what moves over your chart in the next few months and years. And that really allows me to give you concrete info as in when is the best day to get married, or when is the best time to move. And speaking of moving, I also look at the astrocartography, to see how the planets were moving over different parts of the Earth at the moment of your birth. And that allows me to give you an idea of which locations are going to work really well for you and which aren't going to work so well for you. So for instance, in my case, Vienna was totally neutral, didn't support me in any way. And where I am now is supported by my great conjunction. So I then interpret those things. So if you're kind of questioning which place should I go to, what's going to work best, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. Have a wonderful week. Please check out some of my other videos, and I will make the video on the new moon in Taurus that happens this week. I'll publish that as soon as possible, so keep an eye out for that. Check out some of my other videos, and I still do my daily tarot reading, so if you would like to watch that, please consider becoming a member of my channel so that you can access the daily tarot reading. And if you haven't subscribed already, then please do. It supports my channel, and I may be wrong about this, but I feel that the more engagement, I'm not so good at the algorithm rules and things, but I think if a video has more likes and more comments and more subscribers, it's easier to show up in searches. So with that said, if you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.